Tēnā tātou katoa. I'm pleased to speak on behalf of the AgriZero board about our first year. Thank you for coming and supporting this kaupapa. We're here working for more than 50,000 actually agricultural businesses, the majority of our export receipts and the environment all at the same time. And as a country, we need to maintain our carbon advantage in agriculture relative to competitors, and as we go about the dynamics of satisfying trade agreements, delighting international customers, and meeting our emissions commitments. And whichever of those you're interested in, politically, commercially, or environmentally, you all end up in the same place, which is AgriZero. And it was a very clever thing that Mike thought of, so good on you, Mike. It's good to see you again. This kaupapa, which is, as Wayne explained, to get the practical emissions reduction tools into farmers' hands sooner on our pastoral system, has made great headway in 1 year. It is a very broadly syndicated, high-risk investment vehicle, actually. It's got some other strategic important aspects as well, like supporting regulatory systems, but it's a syndicated high-risk end for emissions productivity enhancement. And that is not possible by any single owner, and it was precipitated through both private and public leadership and the founders' contributions, both the government and the shareholders, and financial and very capable people also were contributed around this common goal, and I certainly acknowledge the bold moves and courage at the start. This country is strongly advantaged in harnessing atmospheric carbon, rainwater, and phenomenal energy of sunlight. And that turns it into animal food and has those genetic marvels, these animals, these ruminant animals, in the main walk over, pick it up themselves in a lovely temperate climate. And with carbon a very serious global issue, that competitive advantage in meat, fibre and dairy is very, very important to keep as carbon prices are expected to over the medium term climb, and it's a position we want to hold on to. However, at our end of the carbon abatement curve, which is we're already starting in a low position, gains get harder because they tend to involve the animal, and that is a very complicated biological wonder. And that's opposed to the low-hanging fruit of many of our competitors who are dealing with combine harvesters, feeding animals in feedlots, often with that nutrition material for the animals being transported across oceans as well. This won't be done with little gimmicks like bringing a plastic keep cup on your domestic flight. It will be measured and it will be real. So progress to date. Since the 1st of February 2023, we've set up the company, established the board, recruited a small and focused, very capable team and launched our name, taking us from the very functional Centre, I have to read this, it's quite hard to remember, Centre for Climate Action Joint Venture Limited to AgriZeroNZ. Much less of a mouthful. We've invested more than $22 million to fast-track tools and technologies. And we continue to scan the world for these solutions, and there's more than 60 potential opportunities on our radar right now. We're going to continue to dig right across the planet. It's not just a parochial exercise here in New Zealand, though we have very important technologies and science in New Zealand. Dig right across the planet to find the technologies and new technologies, find a lot of new friends, and ensure that if there is an emissions reduction technology buried in a PhD anywhere in the planet, for our pastoral solutions, we need to be across it. We've also declined to invest in over 70 opportunities so far, and that's a very important number. It's certainly more than the number we've invested in by about 10 times, but that's as we work through the initial list against our criteria. The $22 million's gone into key projects such as Ruminant Biotech, which is a New Zealand startup developing a slow-release biodegradable methane-inhibiting bolus, and investment to support the long-standing New Zealand research to develop a methane vaccine inhibitor, construction of a new methane measurement facility at Massey University, Hoofprint Biome, which is a US startup developing novel probiotics and natural enzymes that can actually improve cow health and reduce methane, and Biolumic, which is a modified ryegrass with a greater lipid content, and that actually results in greater productivity. And I think, is Jason Wargent here today too? There he is, there's Jason there from Biolumic, wonderful. Biolumic has offices in Palmerston North and in America. So there are other investments which we can't announce yet, but the signature is very close to the page, And there have been many other things: projects, investment committees, due diligence, workshops, and design of the investment portfolio structure so we can keep on checking our progress. So the team is working at pace to deliver for the farmers. And they'll need at least 2 to 3 tools in widespread use by 2030 to achieve the ambition. So we're taking a portfolio approach to products, research, measurement, and tools across the life cycle. Some of these won't work. Now, we don't set out to invest in something that won't work, but as we look to piece together practical solutions for farmers that can be effectively measured and given credit for, many parts of the venturing and development won't actually succeed. That's not the definition of failure. Not finding the solution is. So we're optimistic. We've learned a lot in 1 year. There's a lot of momentum. I commend everyone for leading in initially and subsequently to this kaupapa again, in particular for the dedication of shareholders and employees of AgriZero for putting their collective effort and diligence behind this endeavour. And now it is my great pleasure to hand over to our host for today, the Honourable Todd McClay, Minister for Agriculture and Trade. Todd.